So my guides have decided that they want to take these sessions up a notch. So apart from doing the daily cards, they also want to have a talk about certain subjects. So my first guide is from the Halls of Learning, and he does various lectures. So today his subject is about ego. And like many of my guides, you don't know where he's going to go with this subject, so just be open-minded about it. And if it doesn't resonate with you, don't worry about it. But if it does, records where many souls who have passed learn new skills, but also if your vibration is high enough and you have a connection to this place, that you also can receive lectures either consciously or while you are asleep, so that you originally created as part of your human makeup to protect you. It was a case of helping you to see whether something was dangerous or not. Not on an intellectual level, because at the time it was created, you were a starting to think animal rather than a thinking animal, as you all know. And I use the word animal because that is the term that is used for all species on your planet, because as a mammal, as an animal, that is what you are grouped in as due to your physical form. So, uh, what happened is that as you progressed in your intellect, so did the ego. And instead of just saying, oh, there's a big monster over there, or oh, don't eat that, that's dangerous, because remember what happened last time, it then progressed to actually helping you with making decisions on an intellectual level. If I take part in this speech, I will be embarrassed, or if I do this piece of work for someone, it will not be appreciated, and so on and so forth. But what we must understand is that what is happening now is that the ego has become too powerful. The ego has been running your lives for far too long. And so now you must start to think for yourself. You must start to look at the ego when it advises you and say, are you right? Is this okay for me? Should I really listen to you? And that is where, as you may have been told already, that this is where the discernment of the heart comes in. And what we must ask you to do is, when the ego presents itself with its very good case, we ask you to unpick that case. Now, this will take discipline and it will take practice. But for example, you are applying for a certain job and you know that this is the best job you could ever have. But along comes ego and says, remember last time, remember the embarrassment in the interview, remember that you didn't have the experience, remember that you weren't good enough. And that is when you must go, stop you there, ego. I have moved on. I have more qualifications. I am more experienced. And I am going to make sure that I am prepared before my interview. And that's when you do it. You prepare yourself. You prepare yourself for the event so that you can actually excel. You can show the audience, whether it is an interview panel or an actual audience in the theatre. If you prepare well, it will be easier for you. Because this is another thing that the ego will try and do. It will try and scupper you. Because as you have now moved into the vibration of lower and higher, the lower vibration does not want to die. The lower vibration wants to carry on existing. So in order for it to carry on existing, it will start to scupper you. Many other beings on your planet have covered this subject, and I ask that you try and make you believe that what you are thinking is true. They will try and make you believe that you have already done what you have done. They will try and make you believe that you have said what you have said. And this is why, in some cases, some people need to write down what they wish to present. Some people video what they wish to present, record what they wish to present, so that they can play it back to themselves over and over and know that this is what they wish to say, rather than what the ego is presenting you with. Because the less you listen to the ego and more to your higher vibrational guides, the ego will get angrier and angrier. Now, some people may wish to call it anything. They may wish to call it the darkness or whatever, but I will stick to the ego because it is a less empowering word as well. Because once you give something a fearful word, it gives it power. Whereas if you give it a lesser word, such as the ego, a more intellectual word, it takes away the power of that thing as well. So here we are again, by using a different word to describe something, we are giving it less power. So we would ask you to do that with some of your fears, rather than using the word, I am frightened of what I'm about to do. You should say, I am exalted about what I'm going to do, but I still need to look at what I need to take care of. You may want to use the word, I am a little nervous about what I'm about to do. So again, we're taking the air out of the word fear. So one, you are pushing yourself further into a higher way of thinking, and the other, you're taking the air out of what is going on. And this is why you must think about what you are doing, because though you are trying to work on being heart-centered, you must also use your mind. You must also use your thoughts to propel yourself forward, because the ego works in thought and the higher energies work in heart. So the two must be married and working together to stop the ego from delaying or scuppering that which you need to do. So the other thing we wish to have you note is that your soul will present you with certain scenarios as well, because it wishes to experience things, but also it wishes you to move forward in your mission that you have agreed as part of being a light worker, a light warrior, spiritual worker. There are so many terms for the same beings. And what we would ask is that you understand that there is another thing that you must take into account when you are moving forward with the information you're being given. Your soul will always give you something that will benefit you. it will enhance you, or it will take away that which has been holding you back. The ego always give you something that keeps it alive and keeps it powerful. So that is one way of looking at it. So for instance, you may think you've lost your job and something happens to try and make you continue to lose your job. But what we would say is that see, this one's ego is starting to interfere. And this is something else you may find, is that when you are trying to say something, is that your ego will try and interfere with your body. But we will continue. So what we say is again, your soul will present something that you have lost your job. And you think, oh my, that's it, I'm finished, I'm going to be a nobody. But then your soul will present you with something better. It will present you with something that you've always wanted to do, because it will start to make you think of ways that you can live your life differently. You can bring your hobbies in, that you can bring in something of, I I thought that I would not be able to do this and do that and be this and be that. But now I have the time, I may as well do it. I may as well try, because how much is it going to change me? How much is it going to make a difference to what's going on with me now? Whereas the ego will put you into fear. It will tell you, you can't try that. It'll never make you any money. You can't do that. People will laugh at you. You can't do that. I can't is what the ego will say. Whereas the soul will present you with more and more options. So long as you are receptive, your heart is open to these options, and that you're thinking, yes, let's give it a go, because where I am now, it's not going to make any difference. And having that idea of let's give it a go is the first step towards changing everything. And the other thing that you should pay attention to is that you have these different scenarios playing through you, because you are a optional being. No answer is correct. It's only choices and options. So if you choose a certain option and to you it is not resonating, choose a different one. Keep choosing your options until you feel it resonates with you, your vibration is matching it, and you feel peace and serenity when you are doing it. Now, some of you may be going through stressful times trying to sort different things out, but if on the whole you are peaceful and serene, it means you're in the right place, because human life still presents you with stresses because of what is going on your planet at the moment, what is going on in your existence at the moment. But what we ask you is to understand that it doesn't matter which planet you are on or which existence, you will be presented with as many options as the soul possibly can, so that you can make choices. And the soul loves you to try out many, many things. So again, the ego doesn't want you to branch out and stretch, because what happens with the ego, then can't compute as many fearful options if you are growing and stretching and living in harmony. It then has to become restrictive and shrinking and holding you into a tight little spot, so that you feel as if the world is a no place, that you are just existing from day to day. Whereas the soul will give you options of, let's go and do something different today. Even though you are under certain rules, you can find ways around it. You can find ways of exploring, be it just going for a little walk and having a look in the countryside. How many flowers can I see today? And then take pictures. And when you get back to where you live, you can look up on the the ego is leading you. You will become more and more expanded because you should be looking at all your options, all your viable expansion points, rather than listening to the ego that will make you fearful and shrink. We also say that confrontation is something that the ego loves. It loves confrontation. We are not saying standing up for your rights. We are saying confrontation. So if you say something and someone else says something and you don't like what the other person says, your ego will fire you up to argue with them, close your mind down, and just be very, very aggressive. Whereas if you are in a higher vibrational discussion, you will want to be sharing information, sharing life stories, sharing things, so that you expand again, so that you learn more. And the person says, yes, I learned about this by reading this book or looking at this website. And it is up to you if you wish to explore it. But at least you've listened. At least you've expanded your awareness by saying, yes, I'll listen to this person, see what they have to say. And if it resonates with me, I will take it on and I will look at it. But if it doesn't, then at least I've given them a little bit of time to explain themselves. It's all about expansion. But if you stop and you say, oh no, I don't want to hear this person's opinion because it's going to make me change my worldview, it's going to do this, it's going to do that, that is your ego. That is your ego keeping you in the box. That is your ego stopping you from saying or talking or being or investigating things that could possibly make you grow or show you which direction you're meant to move into. So, we will finish for now, but we wish you to explore what the ego brings forward for you and what your heart and the higher energies bring forward for you. Remember, the soul and the higher energies will always bring you things that will expand you, and the ego will always bring things that will try and the information has helped. I'll be looking back over it and I'll be seeing what he said as well. So, bye for now.